Hello from a beautiful afternoon in New England. It's 80 degrees today. Super nice. One of the things that pops up, I think I've been kind of hearing about it now for years actually, is this idea that somehow, everybody's perfect upstairs and, you need to fix yourself and all that kind of stuff. If you want to fix yourself and it makes you happy to do so, do so. But it just doesn't make any sense, does it? Think about this, guys. They're upstairs fighting, right? I mean, if they were so perfect, why are they fighting? Why are they killing each other? Why do they have to have weaponry? It's just baloney. And you'll see, information. Oh, if you do this, you do that, the ships will land, or all that kind of stuff. You got to fix yourself. I'm talking to this guy from the 11th density, or I'm channeling these whoever, non-physical this and that and whatever. And not that they're not. I'm not saying that they're not. It's just is that really realistic information for you living in 4th density? No. It's like the ETs are 4th density. The ones that are you're going to be meeting, and the ones that you're going to be hanging out with, the ones that are assisting with a lot of this stuff. Are they perfect? No. I live with one. He was really angry the other day. He had a right to be, That's the whole point of being in a body, isn't it? If you didn't want to experience physicality, you wouldn't be in physicality, and that's the thing with some of the stuff you hear from, oh, it's not about, outside you. It's all about what's inside you. Well, that's nonsense. How can it not be about what's outside you? You're in 4D, 5D. It's about what's outside you. Otherwise, you'd be non-physical. The whole point of being physical is about what's outside of you and about enjoying the things that are outside of you. And it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It's I don't know. It's some of this stuff. What would be the point of leaving a non-physical situation where the outside doesn't matter and you're already in this perfect zone of whatever? I don't know what it's like to be in non-physical. I don't remember. To come to some place where you're going to have to experience a body. I mean, the whole point of having a body is to experience the body, isn't it? That's why else would. Yeah. And honestly, we're going to do a whole talk about that, which is, lovemaking and the Pleiadians, the hell, anyway. And we love that. We love the sensation. We're very, we're clairsentient. We have very, very strong sensual, the way we feel things in our bodies and also feeling energies and things like that. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the joy of life, So yeah, you can fix yourself, of course, right? But the idea that you only fix yourself and you don't even bother fixing anything around you, is like, well, that doesn't make sense. If your house is crumbling, aren't you going to try to fix it, or are you just going to let it crumble? Well, maybe if you just fix yourself, your house will fix. Yeah. Remember the density you're in. You're in 4th density. You're not in 8th, 9th, 10th density. You're not in a density, even 6. You're not in a density where that kind of manifestation occurs. Isn't going to happen here in this density. It isn't. So, I mean, you can try. I give you hey, go ahead and try it. See if you can do that. See if you can manifest a car for yourself out of thin air. So, you have to keep some of the actual science behind this stuff in view. In view. One of the reasons that you can travel all over the place and enter all kinds of different densities in the astral is because you don't have a body. So when you're in the astral, there's no hold barred. There's no holds barred, right? It's like you can do what you want. But to do that in a physical body, you'd be pretty hard pressed to get to the 9th, 10th density in a physical body. And this whole idea that you don't have to actually violence and all this stuff. Oh, you don't. If you just live in love and all that, well, yeah, that'll work if everybody lives in love. Sadly, that's just not the case, though, is it? Is it? Not saying you shouldn't do those things. Sure, you should, choose a lifestyle that resonates with you. Because, as we know, finding bliss, finding peace, finding love feels good, right? So you would do that for yourself and try to share that with others, not harming others. Unfortunately, though, and this goes for upstairs, as you see them are fighting, right? There are beings that choose to, infringe upon boundaries of other beings. And they're not going to stop doing that if you just love yourself. The whole concept of that just blows my mind. The only way that's going to work is if everybody does it. Well, they're not. They're not. I think only a small percentage, really, of a population in 4D is like that. I've met Pleiadians, a hell, that were a little feisty, that weren't actually, people you'd want to hang around with. When I telepath with different beings from upstairs, I've met a few that were a little shady. That's real. So, yeah, you have to use common sense with a lot of this woo-woo stuff. Coming from somebody who was born on another planet, I was born on another planet. My body wasn't, but my consciousness was. I came in sideways, as I said. I'm a walk-in. And my husband is in a hell body. He's actually, sometimes people get confused with this, okay? He is a man in a body, just like any man that's a humanoid man. He's not some kind of spirit being or whatever. So I've heard people think like he's some kind of I don't know, astral spirit. Like, no, he's in a physical body, and they don't seem to be able to wrap their minds around that. It's like, no, extraterrestrials are in physical bodies. Terrans aren't the only extraterrestrials in a physical body. So I don't understand that stuff. Anyway, it's just reality. You have to have boundaries, and when other beings infringe on your boundary, you're going to have to do something about that. You walk up to a big Draco and tell him you love him and give him a hug. I think he's going to kill you anyway. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think. You hear some of these gurus all about love, 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 love. Yeah, okay. Put them in a situation and test it out, right? I don't think they've ever been in a situation, have they? Where they were in a very dangerous situation, in a war zone or what have you, where they get to kind of walk out into the middle of a battlefield and just ooze love. If that worked, wouldn't that be, I think it's worth trying. Take one of your love gurus who says everything's about love and you should never have any violence. And I'm all for that. I wish there was no violence, but there is. Take those gurus who are all into the love and manifestation and put them in the middle of a battlefield and let them stop the war. I think we all know what would happen. They're going to get killed. It ain't going to stop no war. Right? Which I think, use your mind. And that's what Eeka always says. And that's basically what this is all about. Think rationally. Even though we try to think intuitively as well, because that's where a lot of your intelligence comes. That's where a lot of your intelligence, your analytical processing is a mix of that. The intellectual with the intuitive. So use your mind when you're watching a lot of this stuff and say, does this really make sense? Am I seeing this around me? You are in a world, you are in a place, and that doesn't, I don't care if you go to Era or Venus or whatever planet you want to land on, you're going to be in a physical body in a physical place. So, if you're expecting fairies flying out of people's butts, I think you're going to be disappointed. Anyway, that's my 5 cents for today. Like I said, the main thing is use your own thinking, use your own discernment, see how it flows for you. So, cheers.